Well, that was a frustrating loss for sure. Padres, they lose the series finale of this series to the Guardians. This was going to be their first sweep of the season in a regular three-game series if they were able to win this game. But obviously they weren't. Ryan Weathers was on the mound. And going into this, I was like, hey, maybe the Padres, they're trying their best to win both games here. This series finale, and then the series opener against the Tampa Bay Rays, because McClanahan's on the mound for the Rays tomorrow, so going Darvish tomorrow made more sense. Weathers pitching not on short. I mean, not on short rest because he didn't really throw very many pitches in his last outing. I thought it just made more sense. Worse opponent, but he stunk again. No, his last outing in Colorado, he didn't stink, but it feels like there were some positive signs from Ryan early on in the year, but he's not good enough to be a full-time major league starting pitcher, especially on a team has World Series aspirations. So he'll probably go down to AAA when Lugo gets called back up, or he'll just get optioned tomorrow so they can have an extra bullpen arm. We'll see. But yeah, so hopefully he can work on some things in El Paso because I think his time's up, at least in the rotation right now. And then obviously offensively today was just, oh my gosh, it was so frustrating. Sure, Manny had a home run. There were some good moments. There was that hustle play from Ha-Seong Kim. But they went 3 for 14 with runners in scoring position. 3 for 14. I mean, and I'm not even listing all of the opportunities that they had. We can go through that on the show here in a little bit. But bottom three, Cruz had a sac fly, got runners to second and third. That was the Kim. He scored there with the hustle, but that wasn't like an encouraging, came through with runners in scoring position. It was an out. It was a ground ball to first base, and Kim just hustled around to score. Fourth, bases loaded. Bogey grounded into a double play to end the inning. Bottom five, Nola tried the safety squeeze with Nelson Cruz on third base. That was an interesting decision there from Bomel or whoever decided to do that. I think that Bomel put that play on. I was sitting there later in the game. Gary Sanchez pinch hits, and I know a lot of people were mad at why is Nola bunting there with Cruz on third base? But for me, it's more like, why is Nola in the game at that point? Like Sanchez, he pinch hit later in this game. Padres, by the way, were down by 2 runs when Sanchez pinch hit, not 1. They were down, I believe, by 1 in that spot where Nola tried to bunt there. And Guardians had to make a really good play, and they did. But, with Cruz on third base, there's less than 2 outs. I'm sorry, if you're going to have Gary Sanchez pinch hit anyway, might as well have him pinch hit in that spot right there. Because it's not like he pinch hit for a DH spot or something. He came in and caught later in the game. So I would have just pinched hit him right there. Gary's obviously the better option than Austin Nola. So there was one spot where they didn't come through. Tatis ended up flying out later in that inning. But there was a lot of different opportunities. Again, I was just naming a couple there that stuck out, in the 4th and the 5th inning. But yeah, I think Manny, there was an opportunity for him. I know he had a home run, but there was an opportunity, I think in the 2nd inning, struck out there with the bases loaded. So I can't get too happy about this team, and I'm going to talk about that more on the show. Can't get too happy about them. 1 step forward or 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So just not creating too much consistency here for this offense. There's been some encouraging signs, but then they have a night like this. And so we'll see how this Tampa Bay series goes. Tampa Bay, best record in baseball, best team in baseball. It's going to be a test. If they pass it, then maybe we can start saying, all right, they're turning a corner. But they got to prove that. They got to prove that. The offense has to prove it, I think.